Hey, race fans, welcome back to another edition of NASCAR America at Home. Steve Letarte here with Jeff Burton, and we are joined by a special guest, the president of Texas Motor Speedway. Mr. Promoter is what I've always labeled him as, Eddie Gossage. Eddie, I know it's a busy week. Thanks for your time.
Oh, good to be with you and Jeff both. It's this is what we do. We talk about racing, so I love it.
Well, we are going to talk about racing, but I think we got to start off with it's a huge weekend for NASCAR in Texas. I know you had IndyCar down there, so you have got some cars on track since this crazy pandemic, but a full slate, all three series. Talk about the challenges as running a racetrack and as a promoter, not only getting the series there, but also trying to get the fans back in the seats.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you kind of are trying to figure out how hard should you promote, how much should you stir the pot a little bit, because, we're in a very serious time in our society's history, and we're trying to provide a little diversion, a little color to everybody's black and white life, but at the same time, you can't go but so far, and so kind of cautious on our promotion to maybe dial it back down just a little bit. And really, with the way NASCAR has been running here lately, it's been good racing, great finishes. You don't have to do much except say the words, Chase Elliott or Cole Custer, and fans know what you're talking about, and that gets them excited. It gets me excited, and looking forward to the races this weekend.
Well, Eddie, we spent a lot of time together, and we know you as a promoter, but you're a race fan.
Yeah.
Very hard at it. You're a race fan. What has your thought process been so far this year in regard to this racing?
Well, you're right. I like racing. I don't care if it's asphalt or dirt or short track, super speedway, road course, street course. I don't care what kind of. I just want to see racing, And so I got to be honest. I think since we came back at Darlington, there's been a kind of an intensity level that you don't normally see, at least not at this point in the season, and the racing on the track has been exceptional, and it's been fun to go Sunday, Wednesday. Familiarity breeds contempt, and guys, you know this better than anybody, Jeff. Something happens on Sunday, and you had a whole week to get over it. Well, now you got a couple of days to get over it, and you probably aren't over it. You haven't forgotten that so and so did such and such last week, and now, so after a few weeks, you're just mad at everybody, and that's what makes sports fun, is the rivalries that exist and some of that emotion. And so it's to me, racing so often has been really fun and kind of changed the game a little bit.
Well, you mentioned some rivalries and the time to get over it. I don't think there's enough time in the schedule for the Xfinity drivers to get over their rivalries. I don't know what these drivers are doing this year, but they're all running into one another. We had Harrison out there pushing and shoving with Noah, but that's not the only on-track incident. How excited as a promoter is it for you to see this fire, this temper, this aggression with these younger drivers? They have this confidence to drive this sort of way early in their careers.
Well, first of all, I know those two young men, Harrison Burton and Noah Gregson, and they're good guys. They're pretending to be throwing hands. That's passion and emotion. And under normal circumstances, those are two guys you wouldn't expect to tangle like that. But it shows you how hard they're running and how important this is to them. And I want to know that's what my driver, that's how he feels. I'll tell you, Kyle Busch, okay, let's use him as an example. Kyle Busch is a pain in the neck. He just is. But if I owned a race team, he'd be driving my car because he either wins or he's ticked off about not winning, and I want my guy to be like that. So it's kind of fun to see these rivalries starting up and flaring up, even particularly for the young guys, because that can last for a long time. Richard Petty, David Pearson, Dale Earnhardt, and gosh, for a while there, everybody. I worked with Bobby Allison for years, and so Richard and Bobby had great rivalries, and that's what makes the sport fun. And Darrell Waltrip and everybody for a long time. So we need to see a little bit more of that, and I think these young guys are kind of showing us that they're trying so hard that it means so much to them, and I love that passion.
So Eddie, we talk a lot about fans not being out of the track. but you deal with that on a minute-to-minute basis. So tell us the challenges in telling a fan, hey, you can't come to the track. Like, what are you doing to make sure that the fans don't get frustrated, that they understand? How hard has that job been?
Well, we had an IndyCar race back in early June. It was the season opener for IndyCar because all the previous ones had been canceled. We always have run on that weekend, and it was fun to have cars on the track, but it was a bummer to not have anybody here. I mean, it really just didn't have the same feel. So we're pleased that we're going to have some here this weekend. Won't be many, but we'll have some here. What we found is the key is to have a constant line of communication with them. Send them emails and tell them, we're working on this. We don't have an answer about such and such. Hang in there with us. And boy, did you see, Cole Custer Sunday at Kentucky. That was amazing. That kind of thing. If you need to stay in touch with the fans and let them know that, we work for the fans. So the truth is, all of us in motorsports work for the fans. If it weren't for them, there wouldn't be any cars and teams and drivers and crew members and track folks and so forth. So just found it's important to communicate with them. And if you do that, keep them engaged and they feel like you're being open and transparent to them. They just want to know what's going on, and they want us to go back racing. And so we're back racing, and now we're going to be able to have some fans at some places, and that's good for everybody.
Yeah, I won't lie, I'm jealous. Jeff and I will be calling races from Texas, from Charlotte Motor Speedway, one of your sister tracks, trying to do our part as well.
What is that?
We don't need to be.
What is that? We got a TV booth. We got shrimp for you guys the size of my arm. And you're not going to be here.
Texas is always on my – we love coming to Texas. We wish we were coming. I can assure you our enthusiasm will not be diminished because it won't be your track outside the window. That's what I noticed about the All-Star race. I want to talk about the action this week. We're going to have a lot of conversations, but the thing that I think I took for granted, you mentioned it, the fabric of any sport is the fan base. And 20, 30,000, I don't care the number. Driver introduction, 7-time champ Jimmy Johnson gets announced, and it's deafening with very few fans compared to what's there. And it's a sound that I have missed so much. So explain, it may not be many fans, but your excitement level to look out on Sunday and see fans in the stands and talk to your fans. What do they need to do? What are they supposed to do? What's like the protocols heading into the race weekend?
Well, you're right. And it was cool at Bristol to see Chase Elliott pull into victory lane there after the All-Star race and to hear that crowd, and see them down on the front straightaway up against the fence. Because I remember when Kevin Harvick got out of that car winning that first race back at Darlington to crickets. I mean, total silence. And he remarked how odd that was. So, yeah, we're glad to have fans back. And if our fans will follow the directions, and they'll find it all on TexasMotorSpeedway.com. But, from the time they pull in, we're going to be parking cars in every other spot for distancing. Their tickets are no longer paper tickets. They've got to have them on their telephone so that nobody has to take a ticket and tear it. Once they go through the gate, we're going to hand them some hand sanitizer, a little bottle they have in their pocket for the entire day. On the ground in front of concession stands, souvenir stands, restrooms will be the stickers that you see in stores reminding you about distancing. Every other window in the concession stands are closed. Every other toilet and sink in the restrooms will be closed. And you have to wear a mask. So, if you'll follow the rules, wear a mask, maintain social distancing. The big chore for us was to take all those people that had tickets in March and the race was postponed and cancel those tickets out and had to manually reassign so that your group is here and the other group is distanced from you here. And there's only one way to do it. And that's, by hand, one person at a time to reassign everybody. So stay in their seats and don't move around. Social distancing, wear your masks, keep your hands clean. It's the same thing we've heard since the beginning of this pandemic because it works. And so do that, be cognizant, be friendly to your neighbors, keep your mask on. Everybody have a fun Sunday afternoon at the races and everybody go home healthy.
Yeah, and hey, I'd like to take 1 minute to follow up on that because, to the race fans that aren't going, Eddie and his team have worked really hard so that fans can be there. So please be respectful to Eddie and those guys that went to fight for you, right? He fought for you to be at that racetrack and just follow the rules. I mean, it sucks for everybody, but at least you're able to go to the racetrack and for the guy that fought for you and the teams that fought for you, follow the rules, because that'll help it so that other people can go to the racetrack sooner as well. Eddie, we talked about you being a race fan, and I know you don't have favorites, but
Oh, I do.
But who you got this weekend?
Well, all right. Kevin Harvick has won 3 of the last 5 races here. Denny Hamlin's won the other 2 races, and those 2 guys are white hot right now. Since we came back at Darlington, each of them, have 4 wins apiece this year. Jimmy Johnson, the winningest driver at Texas, and you guys know he's been running really good. Got taken out there at the end at Kentucky. Wouldn't be surprised. Be my honor to hand him that trophy and break this winless streak. And then, I picked up a milk carton yesterday and saw Kyle Busch's picture on it. He's been just totally absent. And that's not the Kyle Busch that we know. I suspect Kyle Busch has a great shot at winning Sunday. So Eric Almirola, there's some people running really good right now, So, boy, it's hard to pick one. But just tugging on my heart, it'd be fun to give Jimmy a trophy one more time. How about that?
I have to agree. I think everyone in the entire series agree. Eddie, man, we appreciate the time. We know you're busy. It's going to be exciting. A full weekend of NASCAR action for Texas Motor Speedway. A little bit of a doubleheader Saturday. Xfinity and trucks. Xfinity on NBCSN. Trucks on our friends at FS1. And then Sunday, Cup Cars, NBCSN. It's going to be a blast. Tune in. Me, Jeff, Rick, and Dale Jr. will be calling the action. And as always, follow up and check in for NASCAR America at home.
Hey Motorsports fans, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe before you go for all the latest news and highlights across motorsports.